This is a Cincy fan talking with LP. You can catch me on Twitter. That's a Cincy fan talking. You say it like it sounds, just leave off the G. If you have ideas for the show, you can reach me at Cincy_fan talk at yahoo.com. If you have any suggestions for the show, make sure you leave them there. Who knows, you might find yourself as part of the show. Any feedback would be definitely appreciated. And also, make sure you hit the Linktree page that's on my Twitter. Make sure you click on that. You can find all the different ways to contact me there. Enjoy the show. What's up? What's up? What's up? What's going on, everybody out there in Podcastville? Welcome to another episode of Cincy Fan Talking with LP. And of course, this is yours truly, LP. Hope everybody's doing well. Hope y'all enjoying y'all summer. Being safe out here. You know, me and man doing all right. Just kicking it. We're gonna get into some a little smidge of Bengals talk, like a small bit, because you know it's hype season out here and everybody got their ridiculous takes and they trying to make you argue takes about this and that, who going to the Super Bowl, who's about to blow up, who's about to regress. Don't nobody really know for real. So I'm gonna talk about what we do know and what we don't know as far as the Bengals. So, and I'm gonna kind of leave it at that as far as what we're talking about with that. We're gonna get into sports movies. I spent this week binging sports movies instead of reality TV. So we're gonna talk about that for a little bit. But hey, real talk, I'm going WNBA. Like that's where I'm going with it first. I sat down. We watched the WNBA All Star game. Real live did. Now, if you know me, this probably isn't super duper surprising. Now with the regular season for the WNBA, don't really get offended that I don't watch that because I don't watch the NBA regular season. Like I really don't. And until it gets close to mattering, I kind of check out. I can't really get into regular season pro hoops. Now the WNBA is a little bit different since their schedule is shorter. The games matter a little bit more, but there's just so many games of regular season hoop, men's and women's. I'm like, it's too much. Um, Before I slide into my whole WNBA thing, um, I'm 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 kind of at a crossroads with something I did. Um, so you know, I'm a 2K head. You know, I'm always playing 2K until the summer when it gets kind of dead. So you know, they dropped the whole pre-order for the for the NBA 2K. You know, 2K23 is coming out in September. I normally just go ahead and purchase the 2K because I got disposable income, and that's what I kind of like to do with it. I mean, I just do. I like video games and I like hoops. So, but they kind of got me because usually the highest one is 99.99, and I'm like, I'm just gonna get the highest one because I get the most stuff and I ain't gotta worry about it. I don't have to pay for no extra stuff. But I end up getting the highest one, and it's for 149.99, and I'm like, hold your horses, pimping. I really spent 150 on a video game? Like that's life right now? I really did that? Me and my grown madness? I'm like, dang, that's gas tank money. Like like I was kind of salty. I'm like, dang, I just paid that just for a video game. And then I started looking closely at what I got. And I'm like, dang, I kind of came up. Cause you get when you purchase that video game for that price, you also get a 12-month free subscription. Well, it ain't free because you paid for it, like, but you get 12 months of NBA League Pass. And I'm like, dang, I just came up. Like, but that's the thing. I kind of sort of came up but I really don't watch hoop like that until close to the end of the regular season. So I'm looking like, dang, what am I gonna do with a 12-month subscription of NBA League Pass? I'm like, dang, should I sell it? Can I sell it? I'm like, I should just pass it off to one of the homies or like, um, I don't know. So I'm really trying to work on that. Maybe I'll just start watching more hoops since I already paid for it, or I don't know, see if I can profit. I was just like, dang, I can't believe I did that. And then I was like, dang, I'm kind of happy I did that. Had I known I'd have did it anyway, because the subscription is like $200 and you basically getting it for 50. I just gotta figure out what I'm gonna do with it. So it's just I don't know, just something that happened. So anyway, I digress. My bad. We in the crib Sunday 1 o'clock. There's never really anything to watch Sunday 1 p.m. So we watching WNBA All Star Game. And first off, the WNBA, they always do it right as far as like social justice and shining a light on things that people need to fix. I mean, they've always been out in front of police brutality and equal rights. I mean, they do it better than any league by far. And they really put the light on getting Brittany Griner out of Russia. And real talk, and this is just me being completely honest, the fact that she's black and a woman, she's getting the short end of the stick twice because, I mean, we got it bad as black men, but like black women got it. They got it bad too. Like real life, because you're getting discriminated because you're black. Then you're getting discriminated against because you're a woman. It's like that double minority thing, and it really, really sucks. And I feel like uh, it's hard. I mean, I'm not really tuned in as far as the whole political aspect of this. And I know people are like, it's not that simple. You can't just go over there and get her and bring her back. I get that. But at the same time, let's call a spade here. If this was a male athlete, I won't even say a white athlete, I'll say a male athlete, everything would have got ratcheted up to like the fifth power. And that's just real talk. I mean, either LeBron James or Tom Brady or somebody locked up for 3 days. I mean, people going batshit crazy. And that's just real. And it's messed up that she even had to be in that predicament to go over there and do that in the first place. Because, and we actually looked this up, the wife and myself, as we were watching the game. They're so woefully underpaid here. I think like the highest salary, and that's just the salary, was something like 220,000 or something like that. I mean, I can't really remember how much it was. I'm gonna go ahead and check this out real quick. Basically, the highest salary is Diana Taurasi. She pulling down 228 grand. That's basically her cat hit. That's what she's taking from the team. And the person at the end of the bench in the NBA is pulling down 7 figures. Real talk. It's just really messed up. And people can say what they want to say about the entertainment value and this, that, and the third. But either they're getting paid too little, or we got some folks in the other league getting paid too much. And at some point, it has to even out, because this kind of dirty. I mean, real talk, they doing the same job. And people can say, oh, well, they can't dunk and people don't watch the games. Dude, they doing the same job. They both professional basketball players. But again, I digress. So watching the game, and two things jumped out quickly as we were watching the WNBA players play in an All-Star game. Number one, it looked and felt like an all-star game. Very little defense was being played. People was just going for what they wanted to go for as far as their offensive game. And It was just like that. They were. It looked like an all-star game. Now, halftime, I was a little scared because the score was 59-39, and I'm looking like, yo, you got a real live miss on purpose to put up 39 points in an all-star game. Like, people just letting you shoot. Like, for real, people like, you go ahead and cook, homegirl, because I'm gonna cook next, so you better get yours off because I'm about to get mine off. That's basically how it go in an all-star game. I mean, it's like street ball. Those first 5-6 points, you trying to see what they can do on the court. You're like, go ahead and shoot your little jumper. Okay. Towards the end of the game, I'm getting up on that. You're not scoring, but I just want to see if you can shoot. That's basically the first 3 quarters of an all-star game. It's like heat check from mid court, move out the way so somebody can dunk. That's the all-star game experience. And we love it because nobody's expecting an all-star game to be competitive. Not for the first 3 quarters. We don't care. We trying to see threes from mid court. We trying to see people get boomed on if it's the men's game. That's what it is. And the fact that they only put up the fact that the score was 59-39, I'm like, yo, what's going on? Second half, everybody stepped it up. I mean, buckets falling left and right. The team that was down 59-39, it might have been Team Stewart or Team Wilson, I forget which one, but they said they weren't going for it. Fourth quarter, they putting up three, three, four, and we'll get into that in a second. And they made it competitive in the fourth quarter. Final score was like 134 to one something. Either way, they put up some points. Like, for real, it looked like an all-star game final. That's how it's supposed to look. So that's the first thing that jumped out. It felt all-star-ish. It wasn't like they were like, playing super duper hard and making the score in like 49 or 48. Nobody's coming to see that in an all-star game. And they didn't give us that. They gave us offense. That's what you want. The second thing that jumped out to me, the WNBA, they'll take some risk. Like, they'll do different things to their game, and they want to draw in those viewers. I get that, but this might be stuff that the NBA wants to think about. Like, on 4 spots of the court, they put a 4-point shot up, and it wasn't like an easy distance. It was like it was like a pretty good distance away. You got the 3-point line, 23, 24 feet away. This was a good 28, 29 feet away. Imagine an NBA All-Star game where you can have people putting up 4-point shots. That's the innovation that we're talking about. Like, that's the stuff that the NBA needs to do. I'm I'm really tired of the NBA doing this gimmicky stuff to try to get folks to get their team like more chances to stay in the whole running to make it to the playoffs. I really don't like that. Now they got it to where, the seventh, eighth, ninth, and 10th seeds, they play in this little bootleg tournament to decide the last 2 seeds. That's ridiculous to me. If I'm a 7 seed and I gotta play an 8 seed, and then if I lose, I gotta play again. No, I made the playoffs. Why I gotta play for my spot and I already got my spot? If you're saying it's only 8 teams, then it needs to be 8 teams. I'm not really with the gimmicky stuff for real. Now, the 4-point shot, people will say, well, that's gimmicky. And the big three, they've been doing it for a while, to be honest. So the big three's been doing it. WNBA decided to do it for the All Star game, and people say, "Man, that's gimmicky." What you mean? I thought you said you don't like gimmicks, LP. Come on, man. Like, be consistent. I'm like, slow down. Check this out. There was only a 2-point shot for the longest in the NBA. The 3-point shot came in like the early '80s. They took it from the ABA, and they said it was gimmicky in the ABA. And the NBA put it in. People weren't really shooting it at first, but now it's an integral part of the NBA experience. Now it's to the point where you'll have teams putting up 33 pointers in the game, and it's really nothing. 30, 35 3 pointers in the game. People kind of look at it like, oh, that's their offense. Back in the 90s, people weren't shooting 30, 35 threes in the game. You might have had a couple teams doing it. The Rockets, um, the Nuggets back when they had Paul Westphal, I think, running the show. They were just running gun for real. But you didn't see that because people thought it was not really gimmicky, but it wasn't part of the culture of the league. Now, step back threes on the fast break. Do you understand how much we would have gotten cursed out on the basketball court if you're coming down for a break and then the person, pushing the break kicks it to somebody on the wing and they put up a three? Do you understand how many laps you will run as a player? You're supposed to drive the ball to the hole, lay it up, or get a foul. Nowadays, it's like, you running down the court, kick it to the three. That three got to go up or the coach is upset. Why did you not shoot the three? You were wide open. That's the game now. This could be the 4-point shot. You put a 4-point shot on opposite ends of the floor, left wing, right wing, about 28, 29 feet away, just like they did in the WNBA All-Star game. It's kind of like having the 2-point conversion in the NFL. It makes it to where you have to kind of change the calculus of how you think. No longer is it like, okay, we're up 4, so they need 2 possessions, kind of stay away from them so they don't have to foul. Now it's different. It's like now extend that defense all the way out. You got to play defense because we can run a play, get to that 4-pointer, put it up, boom. I think this could be bigger than an all-star game. This could actually be a part of the basketball experience. And it's not like it's an easy shot. It'd be an easy shot for a really good shooter, a Steph Curry, a Kelsey Plum who was lighting stuff up. We was looking at her in the All-Star game like, dude, this is ridiculous. She is killing people. Like, I feel like the 4-point shot should be a thing. And the fact that the WNBA takes chances and they do stuff like this, I really commend them as a league because they're willing to not necessarily change what their game looks like, but they're willing to accept the fact that, hey, we have an audience we need to please, and we want to make the game look like the game. We don't want to do dumb stuff like put a rim on top of another rim and make a 10-point shot. Like, this ain't NBA Rock and Jock. Like, we're not doing that. But they're keeping the game in a way that it looks like the game. It's still basketball. It's just a different way to play it. You have to think differently. And I would really like to see it in I would like to see it in the NBA. Now, the one thing I was looking at the WNBA about, like the one thing I was salty about, man, they came out with that All-Star game trophy. I'm like, come on. Like, my kids' participation trophies were bigger than that, man. Like, that was like they one flaw. Homegirl came out, Kelsey Plum come out. She got her, her All-Star game MVP trophy. She deserved it too. She did her thing. And, she holding it like with her fingertips. I'm like, come on, man. Why y'all trying to play her like this? Like, but she earned it, and I'm sure they'll step it up next year. The trophy did not look like that a couple years ago. I remember, like, and I looked it up too, so I wasn't thinking I was tripping. That trophy was kind of sort of big. It didn't look like that. I don't know what it was. Like, they wasted the budget on the paint. I don't know. Like, but step that one small part. It wasn't really a big thing. People hyped it up on social media. I kind of got my digs in a little bit, but all in all, it wasn't a good. It wasn't a. It didn't detract from the fact that it was a really good weekend for the WNBA All Star Game, man. Hey, you'll catch me watching when they get close to the playoffs because that's just me in basketball, men's and women's, man. Like, we got to get close to the playoffs for me to watch. It's just too many games. I can't take it. Um, which is why football is kind of running things. You got 17 games. Every game counts because it's only 17 of them. I mean, you lose 4, there goes your number 1 seed right there. And the way football is, the way the NFL is set now, if you don't get that number 1 seed, dude, you got to play 3 games and make it to the Super Bowl. It's hard to win 3 games in a row in the NFL. However, this is hype season in the NFL. And like I said, I'm not going to take too long with this because I'm really not trying to talk too much NFL right now because a lot of the takes getting tiring to me. Um, who's going to be the sneaky wide receiver to blow up? What else? Which running back out of these four is going to be successful this season? If you had a choice, a team with the easiest schedule, who would you choose? I'm like, come on, man. All the homers gonna come out and be like, well, this team gonna be best because this is my team. As far as the Bengals schedule goes, you got a lot of people saying the Bengals are gonna have a target on their back. They're gonna play that first place schedule and they're gonna have first place problems. Slow down. Now, when you really think about it, you're taking what a team did last year and you're saying that the schedule is going to be tough based on what they did last year. But none of these teams are last year's teams. Every single one of these teams has gone through some kind of turnover. And it's simply because we're talking about a salary cap. And in a salary cap league, you're not going to be able to keep all your best players. People are going to move from one team to another. And a schedule that looks super hard right now might look super easy 10 weeks from now, like 10 weeks into the season. Case in point, the Bengals. The Bengals last year, everybody was like, dang, they were already a bad team and now they have like the sixth toughest schedule. Everybody's like, oh no, here you go. The Bengals are going to be trash. Check this out. The Bengals had one of the easiest schedules in the league because almost every team that they played did worse than they did the year before. Go figure that, right? So, and I know people got to get their content out. People got to be like, this team has the toughest schedule. It's going to be a bear for them to walk through this. I get all that. And, sometimes I do that too. You look at the team and you go like, dang, this team was pretty good. But that was last year. Real talk. The Bengals look like they have an easy schedule at the beginning of the year and a tough schedule at the end of the year. This could be completely different based on, I don't know, injuries, based on people not playing as well, based on people doing better than what you thought. These first 7 games for the Bengals could be awful. And then the end could be really, really easy. We don't know. So, really, if you're a sports fan out there and you're kind of worried about your schedule for your team, this, that, and the third, you got to take it one game at a time. You really do. Just focus on the first game. Now, I'm going to come back on here a month from now and I'm going to predict the schedule. I'm going to predict how many wins the Bengals are going to get. But I'm basing that on the Bengals. Like, I'm not really going to base that off of, dang, this team looks easy. This team looks hard. I'm basing it on how good this team is, what they brought back, and what they lost. Because that's really all you can do. And when it's all said and done, that's what it should be. Now, people are going to have different takes. That's just kind of mine because until the season starts, we really don't know much about anything. I mean, you got some teams who haven't even picked a quarterback yet. And unfortunately, injuries are going to happen because it's football. And in football, people are going to get hurt. You got that whole next man up thing, and that's true, and that's true. But there's one position where that does not matter. There's one position where if you lose that person, your squad is done, and that's QB. So pay careful attention to who comes in with healthy QBs that's ready to do it. And I hope your QB stays well for real, because we all knocking on wood just like in 31 other cities for real. Keep my QB upright. Hey, you got a Cincy fan talking with LP. We'll be right back.
Hi, hi. I'm Princess and I'm Queen. This is Daddy.
You have to say, and this is a Cincy fan talking with LP.
And this is a sensitive fan talking with LP Daddy.
Nice job.
Mm-hmm.
What's up, y'all? Welcome back. Welcome back to the pod. So, spend time this week watching a lot of sports movies. Um, Always been a fan of sports movies. I mean, of course. I mean, that's the pod, of course. But I mean, I've always found sports movies not only to be like motivational, but a really, really good sports movie digs deeper than sports. That's what I always thought. So my favorite sports movie, we'll get into that in a quick second, but I put this out on Twitter asking people what their favorite sports movie was. Got a really good list of sports movies. I mean, people really came with it. 42 was one that I didn't even think of, for real. I won't say I didn't think of it. I mean Chadwick Boseman did his thing as Jackie Robinson, no doubt. But I guess because 42 is just one of those movies that like it hits all the points it wants to hit so well that you kind of put it, I won't say a little bit above all the other sports movies, but it's just one of those sports movies that's like he did so well with it that it's weird. Like it's not like I forgot it was there. It was just one of those choices. When I saw it, I was like, "Oh yeah, how did that not make my top three?" Like, because I had it in my top five, top six. I'm like, dang. And and the person that brought it up, I believe is Eric. He said something real deep. I thought he was like, what the movie did was it didn't give people a pass. It didn't give the racist white people in the movie a pass. It was like this is who they were and this is what they did and this is how Jackie Robinson triumphed over. And I thought that was a real good tweet because you get a lot of these movies where it's like, everything is horrible, racists are all out here. And then, you have this team where you have this person, and then people start seeing, like, hey, it wasn't cool for me to be like that. And that's usually not how it works for a very long time. It takes people a while to not think like that. And this movie, 42, they didn't do that. They wasn't like Jackie Robinson brought together a nation. Nah, because it was still the same way while he was playing. He was strong enough to hold in his anger and his rage, and he was like, I'm putting it out on the field. And that's what made 42 such a dope movie. So that was a really good choice. I saw a lot of good ones. The homie Amber put Sunset Park, man. I got weak as soon as I saw that. Like we used to run around like Sunset Park. What time is it? It's time to get live. It's time to represent. And it's just one of those movies where you see the cast and you go like, "Dang, Terrence Howard was in this movie." Like I forgot. Like Fredro Starr was in this movie. Like, dang, Rhea Perlman was in this movie. Like, it's just one of those movies where you expect it to be, like this kind of outcast movie that's kind of sort of good and whatever. But it was a really good movie about high schoolers hooping in the hood. And I was telling Amber too, I really like that they did not win the tournament. I like that they didn't go state and win all state because it don't really work like that all the time. You don't have a team that wins two games 1 year and then they take the whole thing in 1 year with a new coach. Like it that don't normally happen, man. Not for real. I like the realism in that. Coach Carter came up. My wife chose Any Given Sunday. She said that was hers, and I'm like, yo, as far as putting a lens on what football looked like, and and the way I think it was Oliver Stone that did that. No, I think he directed. I think I had to check to make absolutely sure. But man, like the hitting on there, and like it it was one of those movies where you was like, this feels like a football movie. It wasn't like they left stuff out. People was getting popped. They had the scenes where it was raining and you could hear Jamie Foxx getting crunched, and I mean that was some hard hitting stuff. I I didn't like the fact that they had those bootleg teams, and they was playing that one team in Texas, and they had like that ridiculous stripe all the way through the 50-yard line. I thought it was the end zone. Like, nah, that's the 50. Like, but other than that, man, Al Pacino did his thing as a coach. Steaming Willie Beeman still gonna be like one of my top two quarterbacks on my fantasy football team. Like he definitely he got to be one of the QBs on there because you need two QBs. A lot of good choices, but for me, my favorite, and I wanted to choose Hoop Dreams, like because that's like my all time favorite sports movie. But I didn't want to cheat because it's more of a documentary, and that was like real life. So I'm like, I don't want to cheat, so I'm like not choose this. White Man Can't Jump has always been my favorite sports movie, like always. I I've been watching that movie since I was a little kid, and we would just rewatch it and rewatch it. And a lot of the times, as kids, we're watching it for the Yo Mama jokes. We watching it to see if Sidney Dean traveled on that one where he kind of do his little two step. We rewinded that about 16 kabillion times. Like, nah, he traveled. I'm like, nah, he didn't travel. That was two steps. Like, I think Sidney Dean was like the first James Harden out of all of this. Like, but when I really get down, like as I got older and I kept watching it, I think the biggest reason why I feel like this is such a good movie is because of the relationships, but the relationship between Sidney Dean, which was Wesley Snipes, and Woody Harrelson, which was Billy Hoyle. Like their relationship was like it was like one of those buddy cop movies, but they weren't doing stakeouts, and they wasn't like sitting there trying to catch bad guys. They was just hooping, like, and to be in the '90s was to see something like that happen all of the time. Like the school that I went to, it wasn't like it was like I didn't go to I went to a school that was like in the hood, but it wasn't really like full of the people that was in that community because I mean you had to take a test to get into school and you had people from everywhere at this school. So the racial mix it was probably like I would say about 65% white and maybe like 25-30% black. Maybe I'll say that maybe the black maybe us black folks are like a little bit lower, but it was a really it was a really good mix of different kids. So I learned pretty early that in fact white boys could jump and they could jump pretty high because our school was grade 7 through grade 12, and we're in the 7th grade and we're thinking we about to just come through and just dominate people. And I'm like 5'3" at the time, and I'm thinking like my little small basketball skills will get me through. And we looking at the 11th graders and the sophomores and the seniors. The basketball team had a mix of white and black kids, and we just looking at them just dunking like it's nothing, and we looking like the hell. Because we from the hood, it's just all us black folks just, sitting there hooping. And we're seeing, like people of other ethnicities hooping, but we're like, man, it's our game. We learn quick, fast. That is not the case. And I feel like what that movie did was like it exposed a lot of stereotypes for everybody. It kind of let people know like it really don't necessarily matter what you look like. Can you hoop? And I feel like that's the one thing about basketball that's more universal than most of the other sports because it's one of the sports where you can play it by yourself. Like it needs the least amount of equipment. You can literally just get a ball and just start dribbling and you can shoot it by yourself. And on top of that, everybody can see your face. You know, you can't hide behind like a hat or a helmet or anything like that. Like we can see you. We can see when you're upset. We can see when you're happy. We can see where you're frustrated. We can see where you're scared. We can see all of that. And I feel like what White Man Can't Jump did for me was it helped me understand like, look, one, you gotta trust people. Even when you feel like you can't. You have to trust people because that's really all we got. And it's really on you to understand who you can trust. It's like you have to understand that you got to make it out here no matter what. And at some point, you're going to need people. And you have to choose who you need, why you need them, and how you need them. These aren't things that I picked up on when I was a kid. Like when I was first watching this movie as a kid, I wasn't picking up on none. I'm like, dang, dude from Cheers can hoop. Like, dang. Hey, look how fast Wesley Snipes is. I wonder if that's really them. And that's the second part that made me go, like, man, this is an awesome movie. Like, we did research back then. We was like, that's really them. They are really hooping like this. And then, like the casted characters, man, they real life had real live ballers out there. It was like one of those authentic movies where you weren't looking at people acting like they could hoop. You were looking at people that could really hoop. And on top of that, it's just so funny. I'm really not. I like sports movies, but I love comedies. And when you can mix both of them together, you got me. And White Man Can't Jump is hilarious. And what made it so hilarious is like this is real stuff that we see happen in the hood every single day. I cannot tell you how many times we've been outside hooping, and then somebody gets upset, and they go like, "You know what? You want that? I'll be right back." And everybody looking at each other like, damn, we got a choice to make. Is dude serious? Nah, let's keep hooping. Nah, dude crazy. It's time for us to leave. Let's roll. Like, because 9 times out of 10, dude just talking out his hind parts and nothing's gonna happen. You can just keep hooping, dude will come back and he'll just sit on the side. He'll just say, I got next. You know, he not doing nothing. He was just a little upset. That 10th time, is where you see people jumping over the fence, running through the hole in the fence. Like you'll see people throwing their gym bags over the fence, and you just see people like running because dude nuts and dude said he'll be right back. And when you hooping outside, when somebody say I'll be right back, they not coming with a cake. Like they not coming with a present. They not. Nah, he upset. He coming right back. He going to the glove box. Like that's what he said. Time to roll. Like, and it caught all of that, and it caught it in a funny way. It wasn't one of those like fearful things. It was like, hey, dude, you hooping with crazy. Like, and he crazy, and you brought him down here anyway. It's time to go. We'll catch you next time, and then you'll see him next time, and hey, we just hooping. Like it caught all of that. It was like one of those raw, authentic movies, and it was a sports movie, and that's what made it great. And low key, it being in LA was an awesome move because you can put that in a place like Chicago, you can put it in a place like New York. You could do that and you would still catch the essence. But something about it being in LA where you can really just ball like that all year long, and you have like those sunsets and stuff like that, and you have those awesome locations. Like they had one where you could like see the Pacific Ocean in the background while they hooping. I'm like, man, that's awesome, dude. Like, I just spent half the time just dribbling and looking back. Like, now you see that? That's where we moving. Like, I thought that was a real good touch that they put it there instead of like, a New York. And there's nothing against a place like New York City and hooping because in the '90s, especially the '90s, they had some real live ballers coming through there. Like, they had so many point guards like that was just coming out of New York City. So it's not like I'm saying it would have been a bad choice. What I'm saying is it was such a great move to put it in a place like LA because you just didn't see that part coming. It was like a really good twist on the movie. And if I had to pick a 1A, it would be He Got Game. Like I will have to put He Got Game on there. I'm a basketball head. I have a lot of other different movies on the list, but He Got Game it's just an awesome movie, man. Ray Allen's acting was not good, especially in the beginning. But the thing he did was he acted like a basketball player. And he's not he's not gonna give you an Emmy. I'll say Emmy. He's not gonna give you an Oscar worthy performance acting wise. Like he's not gonna do that. But man, Ray Allen during that time period where they shot that movie, the perfect choice. People sleep so much on Ray Allen's handles, especially back then. He was giving it to people with the crossovers to the jumper. He was the perfect choice to play that role because he had everything. He had the dribble, he had the shot, he had the defense, and you can get him through the acting parts because he's a basketball player. Worst comes to worst, he's going to talk to you like a basketball player and it's going to be believable. Surround him with an awesome cast and it works. Hey, awesome cast he was surrounded with. You put him with Denzel Washington, you put Rosario Dawson in there, you get Hill Harper in there. Dude, Hill Harper got to be like the most underrated actor in the history of acting. Like him and Clifton Powell. Like you name a good movie, one of them was in it. So those are my choices. I'll go ahead and drop the link. You can go ahead and give me your favorite sports movie and why. And who knows, we might run this segment right back and just drop yours and tell you how I feel about that. So we'll go ahead and leave it like that for this week. As always, we back next week. Definitely leave a review if you can. Let me know what you think about the pod. Definitely subscribe. Go ahead and hit the little bell. Let's go ahead and work those subscriptions up. And as always, y'all, life is good. Peace out. If you're not ready for the conversation to end, I'm not either. Make sure to catch me on Twitter. That's the Cincy Fan Talking. Leave off the G at the end of it, and we can keep the conversation going. Also, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button so you can catch the next episodes. The episodes will drop every Tuesday. If there's a change in that, I'll make sure to let you know. Appreciate the support. As always, life is good.